안녕하세요. 천은입니다. 천은 잘전입니다.
Sastrikaldi, Stephen G, Choi Minjun, Imnida.
And we're doing another review. We've done 2 reviews here. We've done one for Life, and then we've also done one for Black Widow. We've just finished watching another KDRAMA. It's second this week? For you?
Yes.
I think it's the third for me. So this one that we just finished watching, which took way too long to finish, called My Country, The New Age.
Yes. Spoilers ahead.
Yes, so there will be spoilers. It's not, I don't think we're going to go
Too into detail.
Much into detail like we did with Black Widow, the movie. Yeah. The movie was a couple hours long, whereas this is 16 episodes and each episode is over an hour long.
And there's so much.
So, and also we started watching this months ago. But anyways, we shall read. My Country, The New Age was from 2019. Okay, so plot synopsis by Asian Wiki staff. Set during the end of Goryeo period to the early Joseon period, 2 friends aim their swords against one another due to differences in opinion about my country.
Yes.
So Hui, Yang Se-jong, is a warrior. His father, So Gyom, is a famous commander. So Hui does not compromise when it comes to injustice. His life devolves into a hellish existence, but he still holds a smile. Nam Seon-ho, Woo Do-hwan, is a smart and talented figure. Because his mother was born into the lowest class, Nam Seon-ho is looked down upon by other people. He wants to pass the military service examination. Due to a corruption scandal involving his father, Nam Seon-ho loses his dream. Making things worse, he comes into conflict with So Hui over a misunderstanding. Yeah. Got the main characters, obviously, which is So Hui and Nam Seon-ho. Then you've also got
Han Hui-jae, Yi Bang-won,
Lee Song-ye,
Namjoon, So-yeon, Park Chi-do, Park Moon-bok, Jang Boom.
They're like it's a fairly big main cast, but again, the main people in it is Hui, Son-ho, Yeon, and Hui-jae. I think it's a really, really, really good drama. Also, coming from me, I've watched a lot of dramas. I've watched so many dramas. It's good. Like, it's a really good drama. I wouldn't say it's my favorite or in my tops. But again, I've seen so many dramas over the years, and I started years ago.
That was another drama that we watched, I think, end of this start of the year.
Wow. Rookie Historian Guherang.
Yeah.
I think we talked about it briefly.
Even though I know Unu from Astro is in Rookie Historian Guherang.
Yeah.
I still think I preferred that drama than I did this drama. Not because of him, but because of the way that drama was laid out compared to the way this drama was. I enjoyed that historical side more than I did this one.
Because I've seen so many historical ones as well, it's really hard for me to be like, this one's better because of this and this and this and this and this. Like, it's really, I don't know if it's easier for other people, but it's like, it's really hard for me to do that. Especially when I know people, like I know the actors, because like, I mean, just for off the top of my head, Hwarang, which I love, like the entire main cast for like, Scarlet Heart. It's a really good storyline. It's shot really well. The whole thing is really, really good, but it also has Baekhyun in it. It also has IU in it. It also has actors that I absolutely love and adore, and same with Hwarang. It has V, it has Minho from SHINee, it has Park Hyun-sik, it has like so many actors who I'm just so in love with.
I found this one very it's long. It's very long.
It's 16 episodes, hon.
I just felt like there was some parts in this that were dragged out that just felt like, why you don't need to drag this out. It's just something about this that I just couldn't watch it constantly.
You couldn't binge it?
No, I couldn't. It was just...
Which, I mean, I understand. Like, there are some dramas that you were just like, I am not sleeping until I...
See Cutie?
She just jumped right up.
Say hello. Lucy.
Yeah, I think she wants to...
Say hello. Yeah. Come on.
Some dramas that you were just like, I am not going to sleep until I know what happens. Such
It's
as
okay not to be
it's
okay.
okay not to be okay. I understand that. We just have different preferences because I binge.
Let's actually get into talking about it.
So, my country,
So my question is to you, who would have been your favourite character and why for My Country?
I really love Yon.
I know, that's so sad, isn't it?
It's like, that's the thing. Like, I love all of them as characters. Wait, what was his name? I just want to make sure that I get it right. Hwang Sung-rok has the most character development.
Yeah.
He's by no means my favourite character.
No.
But I really love the character because he has such growth. Like, he has the most growth in the entire thing. But I can't get over Yon. Yon is like...
Hui's sister?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The main guy's younger sister. She did not deserve what she got. Like, she deserved the entire world.
Yeah. 100%.
I love that character. The character was acted and written so well. Like, you feel for her. You wanna like save her yourself. You want her to you just want to go grab, like, you know how there's dramas where you're just like, I want to go through this screen and strangle this person.
Yeah.
You wanted to go through the screen and just save her, like, cuddle her up and just be like, you're coming with me.
Yeah.
Like, her life was so hard and unfair, but she was so a fighter. Happy. She was a fighter. She was so happy.
Not in the sense like a warrior fighter. She was a fighter as in...
she never gave up.
She
always believed the best of people, and she lived for her brother and Son Ho.
Yeah.
Her entire world were these two people.
Yeah.
And you could tell. She was just like, you cannot leave each other. Do not lose each other.
Yeah.
Like... your family.
Yeah.
You're both my family. This is us. This is it. And when Huije came in, she was like, who is this woman? I want to say, and I truly think she is my favourite character.
That part was devastating though.
It's absolutely devastating. Again, I think one of the reasons that she is my favourite character is because she was so resilient and stuck to her own and did everything, and even
fighter
to the last second. She cared more about her brother and Son Ho than herself, than anyone. And I think that's so relatable, especially for someone like me who does do that. Like, I generally will put myself last on the list and put everyone else above me. Like, I think I really, really related to her in that sense, and also in the sense of just, like, I love that character, and you can tell throughout the entire thing, most of the issues and everything revolved around Yon, but not in that way. In the way of, we need to save this girl.
Yeah.
Like, even, like, the other three, like Park Ji-do, Monbok, and Jung Bom, like, they before they even met her, they were prepared to die for her.
Because of Hui.
Yeah. I mean, Chi-do had other reasons.
Yeah, but you don't find out until the, like
really
after.
Like, because they would risk their lives for Hui, and it was Hui's little sister, and even when she didn't know the people, she had pretty much the entire world ready to, like, lay down their lives for her and to protect her. It just so happens that she had the epileptic fit, and Son Ho trusted his dad when he really shouldn't have.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say Yon is my favourite character. What about you?
It's probably going to sound probably just like him because he's the main character, which is not the reason. My favourite character is Hui. He was relentless. He didn't give up. He stuck to his guns. His personality traits as well, where he was He's caring, he's kind, but you don't mess with that.
Oh, you don't mess with him.
You don't mess with him because
don't mess with him.
His father was the greatest swordsman in that era, and he learnt from his father. Like, what do you expect's going to happen? His personality, his characteristics, the traits that he stood for, how he presented himself, he was someone that men should aspire to be. Everyone was following him because of how he was as a person. He would protect people, and, you know, he was like, my country is my people. He didn't care about money. He didn't care about any, like, real worldly possessions. Like, all he wanted was to protect his people. It's very hard to stay like that. Yeah. And he constantly was protecting people, and he didn't give up. He could have at any point just said, stuff it. But it's not in his personality to.
No.
So he just kept going and going and going until the end.
Yeah. We would be up there as well for me. But it's also the protective nature and everything was... They were little and they literally watched their father die. Immediately, that's when Jon started having fits and started losing it. And in that second... He went from a son, a child, losing his dad, to I am now the only thing my sister has. Yeah. And I am going to live my entire life making sure that she is protected and safe. The entire way through is I live for my sister. Yeah. And nothing is going to happen to her. He got put through so much crap that he had to do in order to what he thinks is saving his sister. Things that he wished that
he got stabbed in the back so many times.
So the relationship between Sonho and Hui is trying because
that's so hard to watch.
They're like the best of friends. Like, Yon's in love with Sonho, and you could tell that they all loved each other so much, and Sonho loved her so much. You can see that right from the beginning to the end. It's the last first episode to the last episode. Sonho loved Yon just as much as Hui. Yeah. And again, they both did everything to protect her, or in the best way that they thought that they could protect her. It was different ways. A lot of it was wrong, but they kind of just went, I don't care if I have to kill 1,000 people. Yeah. If that means that I can save Yon's life, at least for another day, I'm going to do it. Yeah. So they start off like the best of friends. Like, you can see them. Like, they're like adorable. But then the miscommunication happens mainly because of Sonho's dad, who's a Tong. In that, there's the rift between them. Again, Sonho makes a decision. Sonho makes a decision that he thinks is the best for Hui and Yon to both be safe, which is not. Then he does everything in his power to try and right the wrong, especially for Yon. Again, in hindsight, saved her life that day, but in the long run didn't really protect her much. And then after that, obviously the rift between them became even bigger. Yeah. Because they lost Yon. Like, Yon lost her life. And
because of
Sonho's
father.
Apogee. And it's the most heartbreaking thing to see. And
Sonho didn't want to live after that moment.
No.
He literally lost.
Both him and Hui were ready to kill themselves. Yeah. Both of them. Yeah. That's again why Yon is my favourite character, because in different ways she saved both of them from killing themselves. With Hui, it was a little bit of a kind of like a sign kind of thing. Like, he was ready to drown himself and then a butterfly came over and he was just like, okay, that's Yon. It's more spiritually, emotionally saved Hui. But with Sonho, it was finding the little sash that she had embroidered with his name, and he saw that, which he then tied to his sword.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He put it on his...
I know,
yeah.
but he saw that, and that's what kept them going.
Didn't Hui give it to him?
No, so later on,
yeah,
half of it gets cut off. The part of his name gets
right.
cut off, and Hui finds it, and then
he lost himself in that moment too when it got cut.
He gets to because he was like, I've just lost her again.
Yeah,
and in that moment when they come back together right near the end, after this whole thing of both of them almost killing each other, stabbing each other, and all this stuff, when Hui gave it back to him and Sonho just broke, just started crying. It was at that point that I almost lost it, because Hui was like, I'm sorry, like, I'm just now, because of my hatred and everything and my pain, I'm only just now realizing how much pain you're in as well. Which is...
It made him cry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's such... It was so touching, but again, that's one of the relationships that is just like the ups and the downs. Like in friendships, you have ups and downs. I mean, not quite to that extent of stabbing each other with swords and then going and finding them and then going, here, let me save you. It deals with the two of them who loved Yon with their entire hearts and whole world, dealing with the grief of her loss over years.
Yeah. It was 6 years later.
6+ years after she had died.
And what episode was that? I think that was like episode 12 or something. And the whole dynamic, I think that's for me, I think when it changed. That's why we've watched a lot more. You've probably noticed after that scene. After
Yon was killed.
Yes. I think after that, that's when it picked up for me.
Because they added in the extra grief. Like, even like with Huijie, like everyone, as soon as she closed her eyes and like didn't wake up, everyone around her was dealing with that grief.
Yeah.
In their own ways. The two, obviously Hui and Sonho, it stuck with them the most. But again, that was because they literally they were like her parents.
Yeah. My other favourite character from the drama was him.
Park Chi-do. Oh, that was so heartbreaking.
He protected them two with everything he had. He could see when they were in that battle, he could see him rising up to be the leader like his father was.
Yeah.
And like he just let him rise up, and he followed him because he's just like his dad. Like,
yeah.
Like, oh, that part with his dad and him. Oh, that almost broke me. Chido
again was like a father figure. Later on, second last to the last episode, you find out that how close he was with his father.
Yeah.
And his father's last request for Chido to look after Yon
but unfortunately Hui. He got taken away to war.
And that's just again so heartbreaking, because then you remember when he found Yon as well, and when she died, and he was just and like in the last episode, again so many spoilers, in the end of the last episode, when Sonho and Hui go in to the palace and the door's shut, like that last
"You better come back alive,"
that last basically screams from him, which was, "You need to succeed, please don't die."
Yeah.
Was just, you could feel it, but you also knew in like the bottom, like the back of your, like the pit of your heart, that like he's not coming out. At least one of them isn't. That was my thought. I'm like, at least one of them is gonna die, and that's gonna be so hard for me to watch. But then they both died.
I like the way he died though.
Protecting. No,
I liked the fact that Prince Jong-un's warrior, Taylorung, I think it was.
Oh, how he died, yeah.
Yeah, how he died.
Stuff him!
On your knees, with sword in you, and he still had the strength to pick up his sword and just go straight through that guy's chest into his heart.
Yeah.
Just kind of like a, you might have got me, but I got you too.
Yeah.
And just
like,
watching him fall over, oh,
yeah.
I was just like, finally got rid of that guy.
Yeah.
He goes, oh, there was so many players doing different things here and there. They were all just creating problems here and there. There was no success from really any party. Like, it wasn't like it was a whole domination on one side.
No.
It was literally mistake here, mistake there, a death here, a death there. And it just all... It was hard to watch in some spots for me. Like, I really thought Hui in the end was going to survive. I really thought he was.
That's the other thing. Like, that's what I thought and wanted as well. Like, I thought it was going to be... Like, even though in that conversation, he basically said, like, you need to die in order to save your people if this is what you want.
And he accepted.
And he was like, I'm gladly going to die. A part of me just wished that the prince would have just, like, had a bit of a conscience and gone...
He did, in certain parts.
No, but, like, at the end, like, he's just like, look, I just leave.
He was power thirsty, that guy. He was so power
See, that's
thirsty.
the thing. Throughout the whole thing, I started off by hating him, and then I'm just like, oh, you're not so bad. Like, you're actually looking after your people who are following you.
That's what I thought
you're
too.
Saving
yeah.
people. You're saving your people. You're doing this, and then he killed his little brother, and I was like, you. But also because I've watched so many historical dramas, and that's kind of just how it goes. Like, brothers kill brothers to become king. I was just like, oh, but he was so young. Why did you kill the teenager?
And then at the very end, when you find out,
when you find out that it was him responsible for Hui's father's death because it was falsely accused. So terrible. And looking at Hui's face when he was told that it was him, this guy who he's killed so many people for. But again, that's why Chido and Sonho found out before Hui, and both of them were just like, we cannot tell him because he is going to go and do something stupid and die, and we need to save him. And like, we will do it, and we will die, whatever, but do not tell him. And it was the king who told him.
The king, for most of it, I hated him.
Yeah.
Because, you know, he was so hypocrite. Like, he was a hypocrite.
So full of hypocrisy.
Yeah, he was such a hypocrite. Because there was, like, to get the throne, he did the exact same thing that his own son was doing against him.
Yes.
And it was just like, why are you being such a hypocrite? But at the very end, he's gone, I need to make amends for the fact that my son set up...
Yes, I understand, but I hate the king. I hate him. Because...
I didn't love him.
He went from this, like, you have no redeeming... Like, you cannot be redeemed. You have no redeeming anything. But then he truly loved his last wife. Truly loved her. He truly loved the 2 kids that he had with her. But it was so terrible how he was treating...
He was handling the whole situation wrong.
His other sons. Like, the fact that he full on to his face told the prince who's doing all of this stuff, like, I don't care about you. Like, I care about my youngest more than you. Like, you're nothing. Like, you're trash. Basically, gave him more of a drive to do what he did. I just think he's just...
The king was giving his son ammunition left, right and centre.
Yeah. Really hate that. Like, it wasn't... Like, I mean, the queen was a bit of a... Like, it was just... Ugh. I hated it. And then the older brother prince, I'm like, go to hell. You're so fake.
This is why I wasn't in love with this show. It's like that. It was... He made it help me get through the show, really, because he stuck, like, he had his personality and he was set in it, whereas there was so much hypocrisy, and I hate hypocrisy. You know what I mean? Like, it's very you're one thing or you're not. Can't be both, because unless you're changing your personality.
Hwang Sung-rock,
Yeah.
as a character, I hated him.
Yeah.
For the entire drama up until like the third last, because it was only at that point that he put everything aside and went, no, you know what? I wanted revenge. I wanted to kill Hui myself this entire time. I hate this guy. But he spent so much time getting to know and protecting and fighting with Sonho. At the end, when Hui very well could have killed both of them, decided to help them. He went, no, go. He's very much injured and could die. Take him to this place, and he will survive. And then come and fight me. Like, make sure that he survives. And at that point, you really saw that he was like, I don't want revenge anymore. I just want Sonho to live.
Yeah.
And you are helping him. So I trust you because you are saving my friend. And when he died and how he died, that was
Sonho was torn apart.
Heartbreaking.
The two times that you really...
So heartbreaking.
Basically, that was the only two times that you really saw true emotion from Sonho, besides anger and fighting, was when... with Yeon and him.
Well, because he wasn't alive to see Hui die.
He knew what was gonna happen. Like
Yeah, but like even when he was dying, he's just like, don't worry, I'll come with you, I'll follow you, and he's like, please don't hurry, like take it slow, like please. And then Hui Jae, I feel so bad for her because the entire time her life has just gone to crap. Yes, she's the head of the like house thing now. And she has friends, but, like, she lost Hui, and they were finally, like, getting to the stage where he wasn't working for the prince anymore and going off and fighting every single day. And they were finally getting to the stage where they could settle down and actually have the relationship that they've wanted since the first minute that they met each other and saw each other, basically.
Yeah.
She didn't get that, and the whole last thing that she saw was him
smiling
and crying, looking at her as the door shuts and all of the arrows like hit and kill him.
She doesn't see that. All she sees is him smiling as the door closes, and then once the door closes, then you hear the arrows shoot.
It's so heartbreaking. It really just reminds me of the quote that Bonnie said when we were doing a review. Airs. I told you about that.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, and she gets gypped.
How much does she get gypped? Literally, this girl that we know nothing about gets gypped. From literally she doesn't even get anything from the start, really. Yeah. She gets those 5 minutes in the bed with the hot guy, and that's it. That's all you get.
I think that goes for both Yeon and her.
Yeon didn't even get
anything. It's not my favorite, but reviewing it, I can see like it had good plot points, and
I think the reason why it's not up there in the favorites is because there was so many characters that were
got ripped,
hypocritical, and
everyone got ripped off in every way. Like there was no winner in this drama at all. And even though the prince may have won, he didn't win because like his father. But you don't
know. They just kind of leave it.
Yeah.
And I understand that because it was like the whole like with the different dynasties and obviously and all of this stuff. But I kind of still wanted to see what happened and did he then kill all of his other brothers, like, or what? Did he kill his dad? Like, there are other dramas, like with Scarlet Heart, the ending is a bit, like, you're not really sure what's happening. But at least it had a little bit more of a, and this is what happened. But that's because of the whole time and everything. I don't want to get into it because I want him to watch it at some point. But that had a more conclusive yet confusing ending. I know that doesn't really make sense of me saying it like that, but it, like, if you've seen it, then you know. Which I liked more than the ending of this one. But again,
But,
the
yeah,
ending
overall,
of it
yeah.
is a little bit like the ending of Life, where it was just like, and
Oh.
it was just, and time just went on. I really liked My Country. It is a drama that I would be open to watching again. Like I've said, there are some dramas that I'm never watching again for different reasons.
For me, I couldn't watch My Country again. If I came home and you were watching it, I'd probably sit there and watch that episode with you. But I wouldn't go out of my way to rewatch that. I loved it, and I loved certain characters in that. And I liked Yi Bang-won as... because he was a very maniacal villain. When you find out...
As villains go, he's, I think, a written character and acted as a character is one of the better ones.
Yes.
I still hate him
though. I didn't like Namjoon though as a bad guy.
Oh, he was just pure trash.
And when he was dying, and at that moment he says to his son, "Oh, you've done enough.
You did well."
And that,
I feel like he just said that to get into his head.
That's what I mean.
And I'm
like even with his
just die.
even with his dying breaths, he was still was still causing trouble. And that really annoyed me. It was just like, I wish you didn't slice him through the chest. Why couldn't you please have just decapitated the guy?
That is it for this little review kind of thing. Highly recommend watching it. It is a really good drama.
I can't say the same.
But I think it's worth watching.
It's not on the top of my list.
No, but I still would recommend watching it. It's a good watch. It's written really well. The acting in it is remarkable.
The actors played their parts very well.
Yes. That is it for this little review. I hope that you liked it. If there are any dramas that you would recommend that you think that we should watch or that I should watch, let me know down below. So that is it for this video. If you liked it, press the like button, leave us comments down below. Share this on social media if you'd like to. All of my social media links down below, so go check me out, follow me, friend me on all of those. If you'd like to leave any requests or suggestions for more videos that you'd like to see on my channel, then please leave them down below and I'll get to them as soon as I can. That is it for this video, and we will talk to you very, very soon.
Yes.
Kirby days. Annyeong.
Annyeong.